point that I'm trying to make here is that mastering the job search, job application, and career management, process is not an optional part of your life anymore. This has become a necessity. It's become mandatory because this really drives the economic heart of your existence.
Warm welcome to Trainer Talk Show.
Thank you so much. Privilege.
Okay, let's start the first obvious question. Currently, I want to ask you a very simple question. What makes a successful career? Is there a science behind building a successful career?
Suren, that's a wonderful question. I can tell you while, each individual is unique, each case is unique, there is certainly a pattern to, building a great career. And, understanding these 5 core patterns that I talk about, these 5 golden eggs, this is very critical to building a great career. There is definitely a science. And, it's like gravity. Gravity doesn't need your permission to apply to you. So even if you don't agree with gravity exists. So if you follow these 5 patterns, you will go on to build a great career. The first pattern here is finding the right fit. See, you choose your friends, but you don't choose who you get to work with. And, this first pattern is called finding the right fit. People who build amazing careers, they take decisions with the long term in mind. They move towards positions that fit their natural strengths, their core genius and their passions. And they work with people that they like and respect. So it's very important to be able to have massive impact in the role that you're in and to be in a culture where, there is an alignment between your value system and the organization's value system. That's the first pattern. The second pattern is understanding your own value. Okay. See, people who build these great careers, they understand how, first of all, value is created in the workplace, and then how that translates into their own personal worth. And this is something that helps them build that personal worth over the course of their career. So that's the second pattern. The third pattern here is you have to become a benevolent leader. You have to be interested in other people's success more than your own. And people who build great careers, they understand that you cannot claw your way to the top of an organization. Yeah. You have to be carried there, and the people have to choose you to lead. So leadership is a lonely journey. The head that wears the crown is heavy. Not everybody makes it, but it is going to put you through a test that is the ultimate test in life. And to become a leader is I think satisfying in a manner that nothing else can compete with. So the third pattern is a benevolent leader. The fourth pattern here is learning how to overcome the permission. And this is very critical. This is where a lot of people get stuck because, people who build great careers, they understand that they cannot get the job without having the experience, and they cannot get the experience without having the job. And they know how to create those support mechanisms to be able to overcome such obstacles. There are answers, but you have to be willing to learn. And the fifth pattern that I would talk about is the one that everyone, that's the 8. People who go on to build great careers, they understand boundaries to cross and which boundaries to keep. So they can storm past, they can go past their defined roles and create breakthrough results and deliver unexpected impact in every role that they are in. You have to focus on what only you can do. The rest can be outsourced and delegated. So if you're at a 3 lakh rupees salary or 10 lakh rupees salary, it doesn't matter. If you're not doing the job that is worth that salary and you're doing 10,000 rupee wala job, then you're not playing where you should. So I would say that the science of building a career.
Sound a very important question. I think it's relevant for everybody who's tuned in here. COVID has disrupted everybody. Businesses, job market. Some people have lost their job. Some people don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Some people have pay cuts. It's a time where it's a very tough time for people who are working. Correct? Can you tell me what is in store for professionals because of this COVID crisis? What are the problems they're actually facing right now?
Suren, I don't think there could be a more relevant question. So thank you for that. I think this will hugely benefit the people who are watching here right now. You know, the pandemic, as you rightly said, it's thrown the whole world and job markets into such chaos. You know, in the last 4 months, I'm on a number of different news letters, and in the last 4 months, I can tell you with this second wave, over 2 crore Indians additionally have lost their jobs. And the number one problem that working professionals are facing due to the pandemic is, you know, a lack of appreciation for the value that they contribute in their work environments. They are not getting the credit they deserve. And, you know, we all understand we need that pat on the back to develop motivation and build commitment and drive. So that's the number one problem that I see. The second pain point that I'm seeing is that due to this pandemic, people are getting severely underpaid. I mean, HR departments and companies are using this, you know, in a wrong way to control overall salary cost because they have the balance of power. You know, people are struggling to make ends meet and being able to run the financial obligations in their own lives. So that's a very big second problem that I'm seeing. The third problem that I see is that the number of people that are unemployed is rising drastically. And, you know, the pandemic can directly be credited for that. And going forward for some time, this quantity of demand for employees is not going to increase. But the quality of that demand, you know, intensity of that demand is increasing very sharply. And what I mean by that is that organizations are actively changing how they hire. They are going deeper into understanding the profile of candidates so as to be, you know, able to hire the one great individual who can be 3 times more productive than the average worker. The very nature of is changing. So that's the third problem I see. Another problem that, you know, I see is that many people, many career professionals, they remain underemployed. That is that their skills and their talents are not being used to their full potential. And, you know, as a result of their head and their heart is not in the game anymore. They've become strained with their professional life. They've become disengaged. And this is truly causing long-term harm because it impacts one's ability to, you know, be productive, one's morale, and also one's creativity. So it becomes a very difficult and negative cycle to be able to emerge from. Add to this, you know, add to these 4 problems, you know, the issues of all of the political games and the workplace politics that has become even more prevalent because of the pressure of the pandemic. That's another pattern that is clearly rearing its ugly head. And, you know, in addition to that, I can also see that the people who remain behind in jobs, they are feeling burdened. They are really being overworked. Work from home has not been a positive thing for everyone. So these are some of the things that I'm noticing that are going on right now.
So my next question is, you know, as you rightly said, these are the 4-5 issues which is happening for everyone. But politics is high. People are scared that they might lose their jobs. It's really tough times. But having said that, I know you have an option where when students learn from you, you actually help them to find their dream job and almost 3x their salary. So what is the science behind? If you have somebody like this coming to you, what is that you actually do?
See, the first foundation that I want to lay there is, you know, the road to career development is paved with personal development. So you have to become that individual, as I said, who embodies the qualities of a leader in action to create growth in your career. And a lot of people agree with this nice positive talk of becoming a leader. Very few people will take that first implementation step. And that is why, you know, this journey is so lonely. My program is a complete system. So it attends to the entire life cycle of an individual's career. See, I can tell you from the Indian Ministry of Jobs and Labor Statistics, you know, a career professional on average will be associated with 17 different roles or organizations over the course of their career. And some will be a little more and some will be a little less, but that's the average. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that mastering the job search, job application, and career management, you know, process is not an optional part of your life anymore. This has become a necessity. It's become mandatory because this really drives the economic heart of your existence. So right from the job search stage through to how to work the job application, the processes and all of the things that you need to learn in being able to generate multiple offers so that you can leverage your risk and your timelines better, to then planting deep roots in the role that you accept. Because I don't leave a student's hand just when they get the job. I work with them additionally to make sure that not only have they become successful, but they also understand how to remain successful and then to be able to accelerate that. So that is what we do. See, I make this comparison between the job industry and the diamond industry. So, if you look at clear, colorless diamonds, they are ordinary diamonds. They are not really that rare. Okay. There are many. Last year, if you look at the total production of clear, colorless diamonds, it was over 14 crore carats. These are like standard jobs. There are many. But if you look at colored diamonds, yellow diamonds, pink diamonds, blue diamonds, these are truly rare. And I'm not talking about gemstones. I'm talking about these colored diamonds. These are those premium jobs that will give you the 3x salary. These are truly rare. But there is a color of diamond that is rarer than all of these other colors. And that's the red diamond. A red diamond comes along once almost every 20 years on average. You have to uncover 300 crore carats of regular clear colorless diamond production to get 1 carat of a red diamond. That's the statistic. So this red diamond job is your dream job. It's your ideal job. It's the job that is perfect for you. Now, this is incredibly rare, but it is not rare because it doesn't exist. It is rare because you don't know where to look for it and you don't have the tools to dig it out. In actuality, there are many different red diamonds available for you. So, I work with only serious career professionals. A student must want to work with me. So first, I help create a common language between my students and myself by taking them through a foundation program. And then I work with them in a personal capacity to help them structure and run their implementations while supporting them every step of the way. The ultimate thrill for me is their results. And I can tell you 78% of my students find an offer within the first 60 days. And the balance between the 60 to the 120 day mark. On average, each student generates 3 offers. And in 2021, I can tell you the average increase to CTC has been 260%. And this is despite the pandemic.
I'm sure people tuned in. Some people are at the junior level, some at the medium level, some at the top level management. Each have a different set of patterns of problems, right? Can you tell me what are the problems these people face, depending on which level they are in their organization?
Suren, that's a wonderful question. I can tell you, each stage of one's career is associated with certain issues or matters that become quite clear. And to answer this, let me just talk about what are the different states, the different stages that one experiences in a career. See, there are 6 distinct stages that working professionals will go over through the full course of their career. The first stage is what is called the aspiration stage. This is where you're probably still in college, you're still thinking about what interests you, you're test driving your dreams, if you will. You want to understand, should I work in the field? Should I work in the head office? Should I work, in an actual sales role? Should I work behind the scenes in support? So, it's the aspiration stage. You're still discovering what you are all about. If you play the game right here and you come to that understanding, then you will move to the second stage, which is called the promise stage. Now, this is a stage where it is the promise of your potential that is driving your value. You're an entry-level working professional. Your bag of experience is still empty, but it is the promise of your potential that is driving your value. And it's a very important stage where you need to keep your ears open and learn. This is not the time to show off. This is not the time to argue. This is the time to observe and learn. And you must have your eyes open in this stage. And if you get this stage right, you will go on to stage number 3, which is called the momentum stage. And this momentum stage is the most critical stage. This is a stage where solid performance creates solid opportunities. I can tell you this is the number 1 stage where career professionals go wrong.
Okay.
This is the number one stage. There are some very critical trappings associated with this stage. And not everybody will be able to cross this stage. Many careers will end in the momentum stage. They'll start lagging and then they'll just have a very mediocre or sometimes horrible existence. But if you play the game right in the momentum stage, then you will get to a stage called the harvest stage. So as the word implies, harvest is, you get to see what you have planted, right? So this stage again does not come for everyone, but this is a stage where you now have the understanding, the subject matter expertise, the interpersonal dynamics to be able to create a multitude of options for yourself. You can join boards, you can start a consulting practice based on the rich experience in your industry. You can become a freelancer at a level which is uncommon. You can become a consultant. There's so many different options that open up. You can become an entrepreneur. There's all of this that opens up in the harvest stage. But again, like I said, not everybody makes it to this stage. If you play the game right in the harvest stage, you will get to my favorite stage, which is called the encore stage. So the word encore means the grand finale. It means that final performance, that masterpiece. This is where you get to paint your professional masterpiece, because now your command over life wisdom and career knowledge is so strong that you really get a blank canvas to paint your professional masterpiece. Sundar Pichai is an example of somebody who at a very young age is in his encore stage. And if you get the encore stage right, which again doesn't happen for everyone, you get into what is called the legacy stage. A Ratan Tata would be an example of somebody in the legacy stage, being remembered for the values that he embodies as a leader. And naturally each stage is associated with very specific problems and traps. And it is very important to understand what these traps are, how you need to manage your career so that you can truly accelerate your professional progress. See, the truth here is that you cannot skip any stage, but you can certainly accelerate your journey through each stage. And that is where the way I engage with students produces results. So to help freshers get started on the right track, to help career professionals get their career back on track, and to help senior professionals understand how to play the game at that senior level when they are going for C-level roles or for that corner office.
Sava, next question, because you're doing so much work with these career people, you kind of have a ringside view on what is happening in the country. Can you tell us which are the functions which are growing up, which are the industry which is growing? Because pandemic has opened up so many things, right? You have an inside view. Can you tell us your insight on what's happening in the career job?
See, the industries or the functional roles or the experience levels that we cater to, as I've indicated, see these, I can tell you that the outcomes that we help achieve for a student is 3x your paycheck in 90 days or less, accelerate your career. So what it takes you 30 years to accomplish, you'll end up doing in 10, because the model is something that you're going to use every year. You will learn how to target any job and any company and secure the job offer. And you will learn how to differentiate yourself in the job search and job application process. So I actually want to break this myth, Suren. Industries and businesses grow or decline by a few percentage points. The point that I'm trying to make here is that for red diamonds, there is always an opportunity. What is important here is the outcome that you will achieve, which is a derivative, which is a result of the manner in which you follow the process. So if you work the system will work for you. I'm seeing some crazy things happening. I mean, in terms of bouncing back, nearly every industry and every sector, we have in 2021 success stories across 58 different industries. So you look at oil and gas, metals and minerals, FMCG, professional services, banking and finance, academics and education, telecommunications, and in terms of functional strengths, you look at sales, marketing, information technology is huge, digitalization is huge, operations, human resources, accounts, finance, supply chain, product development, R&D, corporate affairs. So we are seeing that once you embody these principles and become that red diamond, it doesn't matter. The pandemic cannot even touch you. So it's just so joyous to work with people who are seriously wanting to do this, because, you know, the mindset that they take on is entirely different.
Savan, you know what excites me? Because traditionally, for somebody who's an employee, for him, he either goes to job portals or he goes to a consultant, and he's at the mercy of the consultants or the portals or whatever comes in. And
Right.
he has to choose from what options are there, and it is not the right fit. Sometimes they compromise because you're going from your company because the pay is not okay, politics is there, or whatever, and you end up in one more organization with similar problems. What I love about what you've actually done is you've changed the whole scenario where you're saying, forget the traditional way. You're going to teach us science where you're going to first identify the companies which are your red diamonds, which is the perfect fit. The culture works for you, and you're going to engineer a science where you can actually get a job offer from those people. And that's what I love about Savan. Nobody has ever done this. At least I've not heard about this across the world itself. And the results, as you rightly said, right? 60 to 90 days, almost 78% people have got their dream job, and more than 200% increase in the salary. Phenomenal, Savan. I have a very important question, Savan. Some people want to switch their functions. Some people want to completely switch their industries. Let's say function, somebody from finance who wants to go to sales, or somebody from FMC wants to go to banking. Is it really possible? And what is the mindset? What do they need to do these things?
It's a lovely question, Suren, because a lot of people unfortunately get misaligned. You know, like, for example, I'll tell you, IT in India is such a big push that a lot of parents pushed their children कि भाई अगर भगवान मिलेंगे तो IT में ही मिलेंगे. You know, if you'll meet God, it will be in the IT field only. So go become a software engineer. Now, the person who was succumbing to that pressure was not somebody who was aligned with IT. Right? So this is a very big area that I actually work in. I help students identify what I call are their transferable skills. So these are skills that you can take from industry to industry and roll functional area to functional area. And, you know, they may not have direct experience in these areas. See, here again, that permission paradox comes into play, where you cannot get the job without the experience, and you cannot get the experience without getting the job. So there are a number of direct strategies, and there are a number of implied strategies, you know, behind the scenes strategies that my students use to be able to get into the industries that they don't have direct experience in at a significantly higher level. So the thing is that, you know, this is one of those questions where a lot of context needs to be created, but I can tell you this is a really hot area, because there's a lot of people who are finally sick of being they're sick of being sick, and they are fed up of being fed up. They want to create a path which is much more than just a job. They want a career. And, you know, on that note, I can tell you, I also see some common problems that come up. So, you know, one of the limiting factors in the Indian job market is that people feel if they get of a certain age, they are not looked at as a promising candidate. And I can tell you that's a huge concern, and it's true. Age can work against you. So you need to know how to be able to overcome that. Another problem I see is employment gaps. People don't know how to bounce back from an employment gap. And this is not just ladies who took a break in their career to start a family, and then after 5-6 years of their children, they are coming back. This even happens to people who get fired, you know. Or another area that I see is where people have done a lot of job hopping. They didn't have the mindset to settle down initially, and they did a lot of job hopping early on in their career, which has labeled them as somebody who's not serious, you know, that they have no loyalty. So I want the viewers here to understand that this is not the end. There are answers to help you overcome all of these problems. May it be growing vertically in the industry where you are, or changing industries. But it's very important to understand that the learning has to come before.
What has helped you to become India's leading career coach? What qualities, what is that you did so that you actually are leading the space? In fact, in the world, there's nobody else who does what you do. Can you tell me that?
Suren, I understand where you're coming from on that, because, you know, I can tell you the pandemic again has overcrowded the coaching industry. There are so many coaches, and it's an unregulated, unorganized industry. So everybody is running their own race, you know, and unfortunately, you know, there are many people who can market themselves really well, but they don't have the congruency of having walked every inch of that journey. So then they are not able to produce the results for a student. In fact, it was, I suppose copying you is the biggest form of flattery. So at one point, I realized that there were over 38 career coaches who had signed up for my program. So, I mean, you can copy my ads, you can copy, my content. You can't copy my heart, my journey, or my service. So I personally feel that there are three factors. It's the ability to design original content. It's not just repackaging concepts. It's the ability to deliver it for impact. It must land. It must create that transformation. And the knowledge must be leading edge that is relevant for the market of today. See, a coach has to earn the right in the eyes of a student. And that only happens when you have done it for yourself and for your students hundreds and thousands of times. Because people buy results. That premise cannot be questioned. So, I understand a lot of people come into a room, where a coach is talking as a skeptic. Let the coach earn the right in your eyes. That's a very fair proposition to begin from. But once you understand that there is something they know that you don't know, then you need to submit. And you need to understand that the biggest obstacle in your own way is you yourself. So I think these would be some of the things that, have helped me help people here.
What is the number one quality a career professional has to gain so that he can be successful through your coaching? What is the number one quality?
In a nutshell, that number one quality is surrender. You have to surrender. See, you have to surrender and come to the understanding that the coach is in the position of coaching you because they have already achieved it in their career, in their life. There is something they know that you do not know. And I can tell you, this is not easy because your ego will fight this surrender. And I want everybody to understand this, that, I'm not asking a student to surrender because my ego requires that surrender. See, you have to understand that this chain between students and teachers, it's an unbroken chain. At some point, I had to give this surrender to people who were wiser and more mature and knew more than me. Because without this surrender, it doesn't work. That's the number one quality that I look for. The other things that, I would mention and add on to this is that you have to understand how to manage your mindset. Your mind gives a meaning to everything. So, when you start out to create change, the results that you will produce will be below your expectations. And that is where most people don't know the value of failure. They are not able to internalize the value of failure. And that is where they get demoralized and they stop. Failure is actually your best friend. Failure is what gives meaning to success. If there is no darkness, the light will never have any value. So to understand the joy of success, you need to have experienced failure. And I want you to understand that, all of the people here watching and anybody who will watch this later on, please understand all of the embarrassments, the rejections, the insults, the pain, the tragedy, the loss, the dejections that you have been through. They are all happening in your life for a reason. They are happening because you need to become the masterpiece that you are meant to be. So learning how to manage your energy when things are not right is critical to success. Your response to failure is the number one determinant of your capacity for success. And this is where people get lost. And that is where I have the ability to hold their hand and walk them through that. See, you have to get rid of this instant gratification. I want everything. I want it in a magic pill. I want bigger, better, more, faster. I want it now. That doesn't work. That only happens in Hollywood and Bollywood movies. It doesn't happen. It's only difficult roads that lead to beautiful destinations. I don't know of a single, successful person who's not had a rough past. And rough means, look at the beauty of the human spirit. If you look one generation ago, the challenges that Suren, our parents faced, were much more grave than the challenges we face. And if you look one generation before that, the challenges that our grandparents faced were literally life and death challenges. So I feel that, if you've been gifted a better platform, it is your responsibility to be able to go further. And that is very critical. Now, today, one of the things that I do for my children is to try and create artificial difficulty, because they have been born in a much better platform than, I was born into. So, that artificial difficulty is very important, because only when you go through the heat do you become a red diamond. So, yeah. Surrender is the number one quality.
I totally agree, Savan. Final thoughts before I let you go.
Suren, first thing I have to say is that everybody in this room and every room that you are a part of must thank you. You are the unparalleled father of the coaching industry in our country. So thank you for the noble mission that you run. You are investing in the biggest asset that our country has, and that is its population. That's the number one asset in our country, and you are taking care of that mission. So just phenomenal. My great thanks to you. What I'd like to tell the room is, guys, have a vision for your life and tune out the negative Nellies. There is no substitute for hard work. Your mind gives meaning to everything. And your most important relationship is the relationship that you have with your own self. Invest in yourself. You are worth it. So have a vision for your life. Tune out the naysayers. There is no substitute for hard work. Your mind gives a meaning to everything. So learn how to interpret things properly, especially failure. And most important, care about the relationship you have with your own self. Invest in yourself. These are the things that make a meaningful difference to the lives of people, to the lives that depend on you. So if you want to improve the quality of the people that depend on you, these are the things you need to take care of.
Thank you so much, Savan. All the people tuned in here, I'll see you next Friday, 8 p.m. in episode number 7 of Trainer Talk Show. Bye-bye. Take care. Good night, guys. Thanks, Savan. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.